Italy, a fascinating global economy, is facing a slew of serious economic issues, including high national debt, an aging population, a skilled labor outflow, regional inequality, poor development, unstable tax revenues, and outcompetence in its once world-leading sectors. Despite these obstacles, Italy manages to traverse them concurrently, despite having some of the world's highest levels of national debt, regional inequality, and slow development. This country has been facing globalization, French shoring, and trade restrictions, as well as experiencing economic decline for 15 years. Despite this, it's still growing, but it has one of the highest poverty rates in the European Union. Despite these challenges, Italy's unique economic traits offer valuable insights into the future of economies, making it a valuable case study for economists. Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we will look at the seemingly never-ending series of weird developments and incidents that have grabbed the Italian economy over the years, leading to its current state of devastation. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video and share it with others. Let's continue. Italy's economy peaked in 2008 and has since been on a gradual decline, shedding almost 20% of nominal GDP. This pattern has been repeated since the conclusion of World War II, with decades of high development followed by a nearly full standstill and often negative growth before restarting growth. Economic production is simply one sign of an economy's health, as the country's history shows that rapid expansion is not the only one. Italy, formerly Europe's most powerful industrial economy, was surpassed by the Netherlands and England as worldwide colonial powers. Despite slower industrialization than France and Germany, Italy has maintained one of the top 5 European economies for thousands of years, thanks to its strong topography, protected mountains in the north, and easy access to the Mediterranean for fishing and trading. This has been true of the economy since 500 BC. Italy's economy began after World War II, with the United States giving aid and finance for reconstruction. The Marshall Plan, a US-led program, invested billions of dollars in Western Europe throughout the 1950s. The purpose was to create a new client base for US industrial goods, while redeveloping strong dependent allies to keep communism out of the Soviet Union. Korea and Japan undertook similar attempts to oppose China's communist influence. The United States also funded reconstruction efforts in Korea and Japan to prevent communism from spreading further. Italy saw a lengthy era of development as a result of reconstruction efforts, but political tensions remained a major concern, resulting in domestic crises such as the 1980 Bologna railway station bombing. These conflicts were exacerbated by other economic issues in the country. Despite appearing to be doing well, Italy's economy was mostly driven by debt to support significant growth projects, particularly when foreign nations were prepared to lend money to prevent communism from spreading. The country's economic production numbers showed its hardships, but its progress was not without obstacles. Italy's economic issues. Italy encountered difficulty in harnessing development to sustainably generate value for its internal economy and export markets, resulting in its first modern decade of stagnation, which lasted just 6 years, as construction and repair activities halted or were unable to get more funding. The Italian government faced widespread unemployment, huge debt, high inflation, and external issues like growing energy costs for fossil fuels. Economic slowdowns gave a chance for the government to modify policies and reduce reliance on industries that generated issues. This first stalemate occurred precisely during this era, illustrating the difficulties faced by the Italian government. During this time, the country moved its focus from infrastructure development to global product creation, introduced reforms like central bank independence, and loosened index wage restrictions. Wage indexation, a measure that guarantees salaries stay up with inflation, is not widely used nowadays owing to market issues. Automatic wage indexation, on the other hand, intensifies the wage price spiral, a potentially disastrous economic phenomenon. When inflation is strong, workers expect greater salaries to keep up with growing prices for products and services. If firms agree to pay these higher wages, they must raise prices to remain profitable, resulting in further inflation. The gap between inflation and individuals wanting greater pay protects many economies from this. If inflation is low, many individuals may be unaware that their salaries are not keeping up, acting as a stabilizing influence in the economy. If salaries are automatically adjusted for inflation, as in Italy, the wage price spiral accelerates and becomes more difficult to reverse. Italy's economic transformation during the 1980s. Italy went through a period of stagnation, but eventually recovered to become one of the fastest-growing economies in history. Between 1985 and 1992, Italy's economic production quadrupled thanks to an export-led manufacturing boom. Italy's competitive edge stems from its great reputation for high-quality workmanship and competence in making a wide range of products, including automobiles, luxury handbags, and olive oil. Exporting items with the Made in Italy emblem can raise their price and attract foreign clients. Some countries go to considerable lengths to undercut foreign competitors, but Italy may add value by manufacturing items within its borders, a unique advantage possessed by only a few other countries. This makes Italy a valued exporter and a vital player on the world stage. The Italian economy struggled owing to fast development, which led to greater debt and tax evasion. The government and individuals started borrowing foolishly to invest in future growth. Small industries, which were critical to the export miracle, were difficult to tax, resulting in a national hobby of abusing lax government regulations and poorly conceived loopholes. Regardless of the government's goals, lowering taxes and expanding expenditure through debt is a traditional expansionary economic policy. This may have been crucial to break out of the 1980s economic stagnation. Current economic challenges in Italy. The study of Italy's distinctive economic history of booms and plateaus stems from the question of whether the country can replicate its achievements. While no one can forecast the future, it appears that Italy is ready to take the next step in its economic production. However, new problems are mixing with old historic ones, making a signature Italian turnaround implausible. Italy's elderly population and low birth rate contribute to the country's resource depletion. Young people are not entering the workforce to replace those who are departing, causing a strain on resources. This problem is worsened by Italy's high percentage of young graduates relocating to other nations for greater pay. The fact that the country is a net sender of graduates rather than a net recipient is cause for worry. Italy seeks to recruit more university graduates to attract more individuals with strong ideas. This issue is especially difficult for sending nations, but from an individual standpoint, greater freedom of movement can give incentives for people to live a decent life and contribute constructively to the globe. As a result, Italy should focus on getting more graduates to alleviate this problem. Another issue confronting Italy's economy is talent competition. Countries that lose talented individuals due to overeducation should consider the opportunities available to these individuals in a specific country or region, as they may be overeducated and fail to meet the country's economic needs. Well, if you think those were the only issues affecting Italy's economy, I would beg you to think again. You see, another issue confronting the Italian economy is that the black market is unusually vast for an advanced country, and according to popular belief, the majority of this is due to unofficial enterprises operating in gray markets to dodge rules and taxes. Historically, black market sectors accounted for up to 25% of the national economy. That percentage is closer to 12% now, which is an improvement, but it is still quite low, and it is not only costing the country potential tax money, but is also contributing to societal issues. People don't have many other alternatives, which contributes to the informal economy's continued growth. Italy has an advanced economy, but it has some of the worst poverty rates in Europe, and this is especially true in the country's south, which is substantially poorer than the north, which, as previously discussed, is still suffering. Italy has high unemployment, stagnating economic production, an aging population, uncompetitive industry, poor tax revenues, massive debt, and rising interest costs. It has less control over its currency and must boost taxes while cutting spending to minimize its debt burden. If it borrows more, it faces insolvency, and if nothing is done, the situation will surely be worse. The assumption in economics and most disciplines is that we are progressing toward an idealized future, as we have for the past 2 centuries. The world now is thousands of times wealthier than it was at the start of the Industrial Revolution, but this has been the exception rather than the rule. Italy is just one of several sophisticated nations that are struggling to compete in a more competitive global economy, and just because we've had growth for as long as we can remember, doesn't ensure it will continue. What is your take on this issue? Leave us your comments, and do remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.